Greetings and welcome to Factorio. I'm Dgray, and today we continue our entry level to Megabase, where we in the last episode just got our science setup up and running. In today's episodes, we will start to work on our steel production, while we will go through a ton of research. So before we start to do the research, do remember to like the video if you think I deserve it, and subscribe as well if you're new to the channel. And with that, let's get on with today's episode. So as I said, two things planned for today. One, setting up the steel, making a nice steel setup, and two, doing a ton of research, which will then turn into a mall, probably in the next episode. So do remember to tune in for that. Firstly, let's just get some of these. This is also the main reason why I want to get steel up and running, so we can get faster, simpler machines and increase the production of everything. Let's also get some better power poles. Will also be very, very good to get. And also better belts. Some engines that goes into trains, which we need in the future, as well as cars. And better furnaces to increase the throughput. So while this is going, let's set up some steel production. I did promise that we in today's episode also will use a bit of explosives to clear out the trees, so why don't we use this area to set up the steel smelting and go from there. So in between episodes, I did set up a small amount of grenade production. Very simply, coal and iron in a chest going into an assembler, making grenades for us. So as a lot of you know, the real enemies of Factorio is not the biters. It is actually the trees, because it takes so long to clear them out before you get robots. But a good way to manage it is if you put some grenades here on the hotbar, or just in your hand, then you can throw. And 2 throws means you'll clear out all the trees. That means you can run like this, just removing all the trees you don't want, making it a lot easier to clear out the area we need for building. Oh, watch out, don't hit your belts. This gives us a nice area to use for our new setup. There we go. And just like that, we have blown up this little forest. So that's a good rule and a good tip if you want to expand out through trees. Get some grenades, blow them up. They are quite easy to make. So now to set up our steel production. There is a few different ways to doing it. I have my way. I think other people do it some other way. But the way I like to do it is we pretty much have to change this design a small amount. Let's see here. We'll have our what's it called, things going in. But looking at the recipe, steel requires 5 iron plate. We could take that from the main bus and cycle it in, but there's actually no reason to do that. If we just take in raw iron, as you can see, this makes 1 iron plate every 3.2 seconds. This requires 5 every 16 seconds, so this is a 1-to-1 in terms of crafting speed. When it's made 5 for the steel, it will have taken 16 seconds. So we can exploit that little design, or that's a design flaw, but that good way of thinking from the devs. So if we look here, we'll do the same as we did before. We'll have things going in. We'll have some coal splitting out, just in a bit of a different way. So before, we had iron going in, and we still want iron to go in at the top side. But we want to do something a bit different. So if you see here, instead of going from here onto a belt, we'll want to do something else, because this can supply a lot more than before. We can still do it as the same length for the iron. We can actually do twice as long since we don't do split belts. But we'll just make it the same length, and I'll show you why. So what we'll do is place it here, and then a belt out. And the reason for that is, do this. These will be 1 to 1. But the problem is that if you do iron and coal out here, we'll miss coal for the inside ones. So a way to solve that is dragging coal down the middle. For example, down this way. And then doing these over here to take iron from here into here onto a belt. But as you might be able to see at the moment, we can't really get inserters to put them over here. If we do a long-handed, they can't reach. Unless we put it in the middle one. So how do we get enough room for that? We do that quite simply by removing that, taking these ones like that to jump the belts, giving us 2 slots in the middle. In here we can add long-handed inserters. So that means now we'll get from over here the iron ore in. We will again get the coal from this one. You see here we'll just split the coal out. Might have made it a bit compact. Just like that, getting coal this way. And we can get coal to go over here as well. Outputting to this belt. So as you can see, this setup allows us to take in just normal iron. Get it processed into plates. Moved over here and get it processed into steel. So this is kind of the setup I want to go with, and it will work very, very nicely. We'll of course take the same, just flip it, put it over here, change the direction of this one to that, and then we can have this going in somewhere like this, and down that way. As you can see, it takes up quite a bit more room than a normal one, but it makes sure you can just take the ores directly in instead of doing all kind of finicky things. So we did get the better power poles. We do need steel to get it working, so let's just get steel up and running with these for now. Or we can just get a small amount of steel made to get things going. Let's see here, to power you. Let's get the power poles there. We'll just make a small amount of steel so we can get a few of these going. Won't take very far, or very long even. So while that is cooking, let's just place down the rest over here and expand our setup down. Go away. You can go away. So that is pretty much the setup we need for our steel. Getting in. Up here we can't split it to both sides in case one consumes faster than the other. Then we can get in a belt of iron. We could take it from over here, but I kind of want to get it from a new vein up this way, so we don't take too much from this one, because that would be a waste. Let's see, let's just make a few new power poles, because then they can fit in right here. If we do it here, it'll power that one. Then we can do one over here as well to power that. And then we'll do one to power a few more things here in the middle. For example, just one right here. And you can just stay there. As you can see, this now powers everything. We just need the coal to continue over this way. Here, we'll then split it off. You can continue and you can jump out in case we need it somewhere else in the future. And that will pretty much power everything we need in terms of our steel setup. Now we can just expand this one down quite massively. As we know, we can actually make it twice as big as this, but just the same length is fine, taking in one belt to power it. Of course, you only get a fifth out on the belt, since it's a 5-to-1 ratio. So we'll leave a lot of room on this one, but it'll be fine in terms of how much we need. So now that we have this, we'll be able to grab that part. and say we'll just place one right here because we have made it very modular to build. We'll then take this part again and just stamp it down a few times until we have the same length as the other one. Just like that, removing the excess belts that we don't need. And that is going to be our entire steel setup that can go in here and onto the main line. Probably somewhere around here will be good. So we'll jump it from there to there, there to here, and then go in and jump across that way. So it'll be something like this when it's hooked up, getting steel on the line. I think one line will be enough for now. If you get all of this running, it should be quite good. Let's drag you all the way to the top. And then we just need to hook in a bit of iron. To do that, we might want to dismantle our old setup up here, just to give ourselves a bit of room. Let's get to minus. So let's dismantle this. It has served its purpose for us in the beginning of the map. And now it's not really useful anymore. Let's get all of you picked up. Let's see, we do have a bit of a backlog up here. That is fine. Ooh, we are full, so let's just throw in the coal over here to make more grenades for us. There you are. And then we can set up a new row of miners. We could just steal it from this one, but what I'll rather do instead is put in a 4-lane balancer here. So this will pretty much just balance out wherever it's needed. That is a lot better. So you can go here. Something like that. Just one more. And there we are. So over here, we'll just disconnect this for a small second. Kind of want to make sure this have power as well before we disconnect anything and get ourselves a power outage. So can we remove this now? Oh, we couldn't. Oh, we could, sorry. And then we can place down the power poles to power all of this. Here, here, here. Pretty much every second one. We'll do the same down here. Then just need to hook up the rest of this. There we are. So that will get all of this going. Might just do a bit of a mistake doing that, but that should be fine. Getting you up this way instead. Giving power to you. And yeah, that seems fine. Let's just disconnect this one. Let's do it about here. We have to do it down a bit further. Let's do it here instead. Take a little trusty blueprint. A 4-lane balancer going somewhere like this. Dumping you across. And hooking up the belts. So we can use this most efficiently going forward. That means now we can just hook you in. You'll split out. We can hook these 4 up to these 4, or we can hook up the 3 of them. The 4th one can go over here. Now that we have this, we can in theory just do this. You can go to here, you can go over here, and we'll let you go straight, and you can go down. Because that way we'll evenly split between these two. And we just need to hook in a few more lines to make things work as intended. So that actually means we can remove this one. We can get the top one here. And go over this way. Going here. The second one being this one. Can go right here. This one can go in as well. can do something like this. And that should mean we should get as much out as possible. So that means all of our iron is being consumed. It's going from 3 belts into 2, going into our new steel setup. Let's remember to remove these that we put in by accident, or just to make a bit. And there we are. Let's get all of you emptied out. Let's just get this thrown into the system over here, as that is not really needed either. This is a good way to get rid of it. The same with the coal. You can go in here as well. So now we have a nice steel setup. I just kind of want to expand it down. So let's go and grab just a few things over here. That is more than we need, I think, but we'll find. Get some belts. Get some more grenades in case we need them. Inserters. We have 91. We'll probably need a few more than that. And a few long-handed ones. So this means now we have steel flowing onto the main bus. And we can quickly hook up the rest of this to actually make it work. And a good thing to know, that is noticed with the research we got, or will get, is that as soon as this one is done, we'll get furnaces that has twice the crafting speed. That means instead of consuming half a belt, they'll consume 1 belt. Of course, that means we don't have to upgrade this to red belts in the future, at least not for now. And we can keep it as yellow, since the throughput is good enough for that. Let's drag this down. Will only take a few minutes. Let's get you up here. Let's get these in. All the way down. Not sure we have enough inserters, but we'll find out. But we want to future-proof our current setup. So we kind of want to get it done, but we won't most definitely not have enough. That is why we want to get the mall up and running as soon as possible. Let's do this, and you two can go out here. That will give us a one-sided belt for all of our steel needs. Let's get you filled in. And then the last thing we need is pretty much just the power poles and a few inserters to be good to go. Let's just craft all of you. Get you in to grab from the side. You can actually just run now, since this is the only place they can be placed. And just waiting for these 17 to be done so we can get all of this powered. There we are. And then just a few power poles. Go. And now we'll produce quite a bit of steel. Also, we still need to get a few more powers to get the rest. But now we have steel on the belts. That means we can easily go and grab some. And have enough for the future. There we go, 21 more please. And then we can hook up the right side as well, or left side even. Just look at that massive amount of steel that's now being produced. That is exactly what we want to see. Because now that we have this, this should last us, about to say, the rest of the game. And it probably will last us the rest of the game. In terms of the throughput on these. That is the thing, if you just build it quite large, like this, you don't have to worry about it in the future, which is also a way to make things more efficient. So let's get you down to here. Yeah, and outputs. There we go. Good, so that is all of those. Then we need to put in the undergrounds. I'll just go and grab some more. I don't think we have enough from our little mini mall over here. Splitters is fine. But as you can see, this is getting divided out very, very nicely. We'll probably consume most of our resources when we do this, because we should be able to consume at least one full iron build going this way with our current setup. And then we just need the power. Start over here. Then we get the power over here as well after we place in these. Let's see, power. Then we see whatever is missing before I can keep going. There we go, and you can go. And look at that. That is our entire iron setup up and running. If we press P, you can see the production stats. And right now we have iron production gone from nothing to about 100 per minute. Which is very, very good. Now we have a nice supply of iron we can just steal here, while the rest is being produced, and we can use that to expand out very, very easily. So that is pretty much how we can do a rather simple steel setup. This just takes in that, as you can see, it is consuming exactly one full belt of iron. That's exactly what you want to see. So that is very good, and it's taken from all the lanes up here, evenly consuming from each of them. So that is not too shabby. Let's just repair the belts with a repair pack. So I think I will call the episode here. In the next one, we will look at the mall, hooking up production of pretty much every item we have at the moment. So assembly machines, miners, steam engines, other engines, all the belts, all the inserters, everything will be hooked up next episode, making the further expansion of the base a lot easier to do. So if you did enjoy this, if you do like this setup, do comment what you think about it, if there's any kind of improvement to it. And if you do like the series, do remember to like the video. And if you're new to the channel, do remember to subscribe as well. With that, thank you so much for watching, guys. I've been Dgray, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.